Hello, friends. I would like to talk to you today about a concept I have been working through and working with and meditating on really for the better part of a week and a half, and that is the concept of befriending our vulnerability. Um, how this came about is I was having a ministerial conversation with somebody about a week ago, and we were just talking about the fear and the anxiousness around the election and COVID, and that there seems to be this general sense of anxiety in the zeitgeist today that is really palpable. And as we progressed through our conversation, I began to think about, and we began to talk about what would it be um, as a society, if what would it mean for our society if we treated our vulnerability as a friend, and if we treated our fragility and the sort of suppleness and um, changeable nature of our human life as our friend. And I really think that that is what it comes down to. Our current culture talks so much about individual liberty and individual rights and being strong and being, hyper intense and focused. And I'm not gonna completely downplay intensity and focus and strength, but I am gonna say is we are not really taught that being vulnerable and being uh, human per se is a normal part of life. But let's look at what Jesus calls us to in Scripture, whether it's the Syrophoenician woman um, talking to Jesus about the scraps under the master's table, and Jesus basically saying, I've never seen an answer like this in all of Israel, whether it's the Samaritan woman and the conversation with her, whether it's the woman with the issue of blood or the flow of blood. Jesus is all about playing with and inviting us to embrace our vulnerability and treat our vulnerability as a friend. For God's sake, he asked doubting Thomas, put your hands in my wounds. And I think that is what I am calling us to do, is remember that we are human and our vulnerability and our fragility, to use another word, is not something to be resisted, but it's something to be respected and befriended. And that means when we're in the middle of a COVID surge, it's a friendly thing to do to wear your mask. It shows solidarity with the people in your community and gives you an opportunity to embrace the full vulnerability of being human when we act outside of ourselves and don't try to hold on to this false narrative of toughness or artificial strength. So I just invite us to consider, what does it mean for us as a society at this pivotal time to treat our vulnerability and our pliability in the hands of God as a human race as a gift and as something to be befriended and not resisted or battled to the death. I can tell you, as a person with a disability, we live this life every day. I literally, not being metaphorical here, I can't outrun my vulnerability. I can't outwork my vulnerability. So I have to treat my embodiment with respect. And as a friend, but that's taught me to treat others' vulnerability out of compassion as a friend as well. I hope that makes sense. I have not road tested this blog outside of that one conversation, but I just call us to act with compassion and tenderness and respect towards our vulnerability and the vulnerability of others. Stay safe, stay well, and know that you're loved, and I'm praying for you, friends. All right, bye.